Well, if you ask where these drugs came from in the first place, look at the example of the United States. If you look in America in the 1870s and 80s, the principal consumers of opiate drugs, were middle-aged white women. There was no aspirin, there was no penicillin. Women were going through menopause without anything to help them. There was bad sanitation, there was diarrhea. And opium was the wonderful cure-all for all these things. Now, nobody thought to make it illegal, to prohibit it, so long as the principal consumers were middle-aged white women. But when the Chinese came to America, working on the railroads and going home at night to smoke their opium pipe, and with their opium dens, that's when people said, what will those Chinamen do in those opium dens, seducing and raping and addicting our white women? And that's when we got the first opium prohibition laws. The first cocaine prohibition laws were in the South of the United States and were directed at black men, at Negroes, who it was afraid would take this white powder up their nose and forget their proper place in society. And who knows what they would do to our white women. The first anti-marijuana laws were about the Mexican migrants and Mexican Americans in the Midwest and Southwest in the teens and the 20s. Once again, hardworking people coming up, taking good jobs from the good white people, going back home to smoke a little reefer just like they did in the old country. And the fear was, what would those people do to our women and our children? Put it this way. If the drug Viagra had first been created by illegal chemists rather than legal ones, and if the principal consumers of Viagra had primarily been black men, young black and brown men, you would get a 5-year criminal penalty for using Viagra. The fact that it's primarily used by older men, white men, the most powerful people in society, that means that it will be legal, it'll be regulated, and nobody gets punished.